So, with this segment, let me follow my paper so I won't be stuck because I'm good at talking on the top of my head. So I'm going to be talking about mental health, mental illness, the stigma behind it, and what we can do to improve that. Okay. So, why do I think I don't need my glasses? Why do I think I don't need them? Tonight. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about mental health and the difference between mental health and mental illness, the negative impacts of not understanding the basis of mental health, and how we can increase in understanding and promote mental wellness. So I'm very interactive. I did a social style workshop the other day, and I am expressive. So if you can't tell, and believe it or not, I'm kind of shy. So I'm gonna do, I know. It's Pat, it's Mr. Pat Long. All right, so I'm gonna ask you all, and you all let me know whether it's true or false, okay? True or false? Mental health and mental illness are the same. False. All those that say false, you are absolutely correct. Yeah, I just don't have any freebies for you. Mental health reflects our emotional, our psychological well-being, and how we think and feel. Now we have to be able to do that, how we think and feel. I'm going to explain that to you. And we're able to make decisions. Mental illness, when you have an illness, it comes with a what? You know, the doctor said you got high blood pressure. That's a what? That's a diagnosis. So it's a clinical diagnosis. I won't go into all of that, but it is a clinical diagnosis, and it has names for it, okay? And it does affect us. That decision affects a person's thinking, feeling, mood, or behavior. And some of the diagnoses are, and I just won't go into that, I just give you baseline information. Depression, we know what that looks like. Anxiety, we may know what that looks like. Bipolar and schizophrenia. So we may know somebody that has these diagnoses, and may not, or because some people present better than others. Now, one thing that they can do that can really help this situate the mental illness out is, if you have high blood pressure, what you gonna do? You're gonna take your medication. You need to anyway, you're supposed to. You got to take your medication. Believe it or not, it's the same thing with someone that is bipolar. It's the same thing with somebody that has schizophrenia. And with schizophrenia, there are so many diagnoses or classifications that comes under that. I won't go into that. But they hear voices. They see things that other people don't see. Now, it's not uncommon, and I won't get into all of that with people. This lady told me the other day her son passed, and she told me, she said, "Oh, Miss Pat, I saw him in the room." Somebody in the room. Go out. Okay. We got to let her in. She can talk to us. Okay, so anyway, those are some examples of mental illnesses. Now, let me tell you, depression also is described in, did you get this side? Depression. I'm sorry, the depression is not uncommon. If someone passes, somebody near and dear, that is going to affect us. We're going to be crying. We don't want to be bothered sometimes. You know, we're going to have a mood swing here and there. That is so normal. What takes it into an illness part is the chronicity of it, the longevity of it. You know, if you stop eating, sleeping, you want to have the lights out, you just actually missing in action. If that goes on for more than 6 months all the time, like your daily living skills have just subsided, that is a problem. That's a problem. And that's not your situation. So I don't even go into depression. Like I said, there's so many different classifications. One is, it is not uncommon for you to have a seasonal affective disorder. That's a sort of depression too. Yeah, you know, when that death anniversary comes, or we have those certain reminders of those triggers, that's not uncommon. It becomes an issue when it becomes really, really chronic and it starts interfering. You start bathing, you start taking care of yourself, you know, you just shut down, you can't work. What, 6 months? 6 months, yeah. And we can't judge anybody. All right. Anxiety is the same way. Anxiety is, you can go into this thing where you have these panic attacks. You can't breathe. You got this chest going on. You know, your chest feel like it's about to pop open, and it makes it a difference. You go out there and you get in a wreck. That goes like with PTSD, post-traumatic stress. So that's not uncommon for you to be, as they call it, shell shock. You know, when you get to a light, you have to stop. That's not uncommon. It becomes an issue when it goes on and on and on, and you just don't want to drive anymore. That's an issue. That's an issue. So don't ignore those warning signs. Don't tell your significant other, somebody, oh, get over it. I did it. We'll talk about stigmatization later, but that's one of the things that goes with that. True or false? Pat need her glasses.
True.
That's so funny. And you're right. People living with a serious mental illness are at a higher risk of experiencing chronic physical conditions. True. So smart. Literally, it's that they become, especially the ones that become incapacitated and they are diagnosed with a mental illness, and they can't take care of themselves. They don't know. Maybe a family member is unaware of the difference of, no, they really have something going on. You know, it could be a number of factors, but that is true. So I had an individual. I got a timekeeper. I'm a timekeeper because I don't want to go. Okay, good. Okay, I had a client that oh wow, he was so schizophrenic. Oh my goodness, this man stuff was just running out. You had to kind of pick out what was reality and what wasn't. Well, I noticed that his fingers were really big for his size. But he didn't have really, I won't say he didn't have really good verbal skills. Again, he was so paranoid, you had to pick out what was real and what wasn't. Well, somehow I was able to get him to go to the doctor and see about the swellingness in his fingers. Okay, he smoked a lot. Well, come behold, it got to the point he couldn't take care of himself. He couldn't take care of himself anyway. Yeah. Anyway, he couldn't take care of it. Independent living skills were terrible. The manager told me about their housing problem. Oh, Miss Pat, he's got more roaches in his place than if we put this whole building. So you got to go there and take the stove out. Yeah, it was, oh my goodness, my caseload, you all. But anyway, with this person, back to him, and we're talking about them not being able to take care of themselves, and they're at a higher risk of morbidity than we are. You know, the average person or someone without a mental illness, because they can't take care of themselves. So with him, long story short, he ended up having to have a biopsy. He ended up going into, there was no emergency contact persons. I don't know how I found his father, but this man was on my caseload forever. And the sister got in touch with me and she said, we've been looking for him for years. We paid a private private investigator. I said, well, he took y'all's money because he's been here with me forever. You know, but anyway, long story short, you all, he was diagnosed with lung cancer. And it just so happened, well, I know it's bittersweet, but it just so happens that At that time, he was able to move in with his family. And his sister called me back and she said those were like the best last months of his life that they had, you know, but he passed now. But she said that they were so grateful to be able to spend that time with them. So a lot of times we have to be advocates. We have to be advocates. We can't pick and choose for those that can't take care of themselves. And the right deltas. Y'all know about that. Okay, but anyway, so yeah, they have depression, they have anxiety, they cannot take care of themselves because they cannot take care of themselves. Oh my goodness, I have so many examples of that, real life situations that they, what do you call it, increase their mortality rates. Yeah, because they just can't take care of themselves. They don't know when to go to the doctor. They refuse to go to the doctor. Here we go, true or false? Poor mental health contributes to the problem of mental health stigma.
True.
Must be false, because you put them in the spot.
Read it again.
I ain't reading nothing again. Y'all know now. Y'all know what that said. Okay. Okay, here you go. Poor mental health contributes to the problem of mental health stigma. Just go back on just what I said. It does. It's true. It's true. Social self-stigma. Someone that has it and they don't understand it, they contribute to a lot of their chronicity. They contribute to a lot of their relapses or their decompensations is what we call it. You know, because they are so sick that they don't understand. You got to take your medicine. Okay, a lot of times, and it's not just them too. It's one thing that they don't mention is that it's denial. Denial, not only with the individual, but with the family. Substance abuse is it's a disease too, and it creates such a havoc. And family members are like, wait a minute, she better get it together. She just can't come back. All she need to do is quit. All he need to do is stop. But they cannot. It's a disease. And it seeks to destroy. That it does. But not understanding a mental illness contributes to a lot of the stigma. It's shame. A lot of people are ashamed. So the onset of a mental illness is, I'm gonna mess with y'all. Give me an age when you think that somebody starts seeing a mental illness.
21. Oh no, let's go down. 9, 8, because I deal with it.
Yeah, the ADHD
ADHD, ODD,
is baby bipolar to me. But that 18, 20 to 25, yeah, that's when it's almost, I want to say full blown. Okay, denial. He went out for a drink and somebody put something in their drink. Denial. He was fine till he went into the army. Denial. So they are prone to that. Now just go back and do history, the social history. How did you do at school? Did you get suspended? You know, were you in classes that you need extra help? Could they not sit still? It's all of that. So that 18 to 25, denial. And don't mean to be very blunt here. Men, a lot of the medication, they stop taking it because it messes with their sex drive, okay? And they're like, no, I can't. I gotta, be a man, I gotta do this. But at the same time, but you bipolar. And then she trying to understand why you snapping on her, locking her inside the door, you understand? So a lot of it is shame, a lot of it is guilt, but mostly it's denial. Here I go again with my stories. I had a client whose mother all the time replaced his TVs. And but these were before the flat screens came out, so that tells you the age. But she replaced these TVs all the time. I said, listen, buy me a television. I need one for the bedroom. Stop buying this man TVs. Guess what he would do, Pat? He would take those televisions and sell them for cigarettes. Not a pack, not a pack, not a pack. He want a cigarette. He would sell his TV. Somebody would take, somebody would take advantage of it. They get taken advantage of so much, but somebody would take advantage of them. Mama go and replace that television, but I had to get her to understand. He does not understand the emphasis of money like we do. He's mentally ill. He doesn't understand that. And I had to get her to stop buying this man TV. You want to buy a TV? Give me one. I mean, that was my conversation with her, but they are denial. I won't go into another story. This girl's sister is trying to, y'all, this stuff is so critical. It is so critical when we have a family member that has mental illness and we just don't seem to understand. Now, when they're going off on you, then, they got a problem, they got an issue. But then when they're going off on the worker, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing, No, it's yeah. Anyway, that plays a big part in that. True or false, here we go again. How am I doing, timekeeper? I ain't got 2 more minutes. Okay, so, but this is what I really want to talk about, y'all. Mental illness may affect more people than you think. It does. It really, truly does. I'm at church and I'm looking like, I'm the stuff that's on, let me tell you something. This is just me saying this now. A lot of the crimes that are being committed are not just your ordinary next door neighbor. These people have a mental illness, let me sidebar conversation. Tattoos go into a lot of antisocial personalities. So if your auntie, sister, granddaughter's niece, next door neighbor's cousin, brother, want to get more than one, you may want to kind of step back and look at them, so, this, when they get past 3, that's an expression that they can't communicate with. So somewhere in there, there's this antisocial personality. And if you look at, I'm not trying to stigmatize it, if you look at these gang members, I mean, seriously. So I'm gonna leave you all with this, that we understand there's a difference with mental health and mental illness, and the literacy has increased, but we still have a whole lot more work to do, but we can also take care of ourselves. A lot of physical issues that we have can bring on depression. How am I doing?
I have a question. I deal with emotion.
I can't answer no question.